and I'll briefly explain that short amendment while it's being passed out. On page 192, on line 27, it's at the bottom of your page, after where it says a local government that contains a portion of a proposed project, that's where the amendment is inserted in, or the chief executive officer of that local government. And Mr. Chairman and committee members, the purpose of this amendment is to move this process along just a little bit quicker and get the bi-state agreement together and allow the governor and also, in this case, the mayor to go ahead and get his appointees in place to move forward with the project.
So what we have before us is amendment identified as document 096288. And Senator Tapp, you made a motion that we adopt this amendment?
I do, Mr. Chairman.
Have a second from Senator McGahey. Question by Senator Shaughnessy.
I'd like to speak against the amendment. And Senator Williams, you correct me if I mistake this, but
I surely will.
I appreciate that. The way that the bi-state project is treated under the existing language is equivalent to the way that a project that would move forward under a state sponsorship authority, to whereas that project would have to be initiated by local action, by the passing of a resolution by that community's local legislative body, whether that's a fiscal court or in Louisville's case, the Council of Louisville Metro, excuse me.
I think the bill as it's written says that a member of the Metro Council has to petition the mayor. I don't know whether it takes passage by the Metro Council, but I think as the bill stands today before this amendment, that member of the Metro Council has to petition the mayor. Now, if this amendment passes, the mayor can initiate by himself, or a member can petition the mayor to do that. I don't think it takes, does it take an action by the Metro?
It does take a resolution of its governing body, but
yeah.
a member would petition and then the body would
Yes, I think that's correct. A member would petition and then a resolution would be passed.
Correct. So the way it is right now, one individual cannot move this process forward. Not the mayor, not one member of the council.
That's right.
One person can begin that process, but the only way a process moves forward is by a majority vote of the council.
Resolution.
Yes. The reason why that is important, and I know that this causes some concern by people who have worked very hard for the Bridges project in Louisville, but the reality is, up until now, there has been no public sanction. When I say public sanction, I mean by a government entity, not by the General Assembly, not by the Council of Louisville Metro. This has been done by an independent group, an independent organization, with state funding through the General Assembly. Now, this project, as it was approved by the federal government, envisioned both bridges being built and being funded by federal funds. That's how this project has moved forward. Now, we know that that has changed, and now, under this legislation, we know that that funding mechanism is going to be tolls. Now, that's a huge shift. Now, one of the criticisms that we've always had in my community, and you all have lived through it as members of the General Assembly, is too often we come to Frankfort fragmented in a community perspective. Years ago, Senator Leeper can remember when you'd come up and the mayor of Louisville would say one thing and the county judge would come up and 10 minutes later say something else. And you all been torn, we've been torn. Now, one of the promises of merged government was that we would create an entity that would speak for the entire community. And for the first time, we would create a council, not a fiscal court, not a board of aldermen, but a council in which the entire Louisville community would be represented on equal footing and have equal voice. Now, if ever there was an issue that spoke to the need for a community perspective going forward, it is the Bridges project. This Bridges project has been around longer than our existing form of government. Now, this is an opportunity for the entire community to speak on this project. Is it going to be more cumbersome than if just the mayor could move this forward? Yes, it is. I'm guessing at times it will be outright ugly, but it is a necessary step for my community to build consensus on this issue going forward. So I would just ask that we side from the perspective of local control. I would think that as members of the legislative body, we would want the opportunity to have say-so and not just to abdicate a position to the governor, that the General Assembly would want a role. And in fact, in this legislation, in the changes that we've adopted, we've insisted upon the General Assembly having a role. The only thing I'm asking for is giving local control to the local council to initiate the project.